Shalom. Welcome to the Light to the Nations channel. This is Juan Carlos again. I had a pending presentation for some weeks so far. It was the first one that I was presenting on the Virtual House Church on Friday night. And it's related to the day. What is a day? Finally, I had the opportunity to complete the presentation today. So I decided, no matter that it's quite late here in Chile, I decided to upload this video, maybe with the first part of the presentation. I think we are not going to be able to check everything in this video, but I felt that it's very important to release this information as soon as possible. So I hope what we're going to review here is going to be a better half for you. I do believe that the information we have over here, it's critical, it's very important in order to fully understand the calendar of Yahuwah, and even more to understand even prophecies. If we are not able to understand what is a day according to the scriptures, it's going to be very difficult to understand many other things. So we're gonna start reviewing the presentation again, as I have been telling you in other videos. If you have any questions, just send me an email. I have been receiving several emails from you, and I'm collecting most of the questions in order to answer maybe in one video all of them. I have been sending some answers time to time to the people. Sometimes this requires a lot of time. So believe me, as soon as I have the time, I will answer to you all the questions you have. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you right away I don't have the answer, and we know where we need to find the answer with Yahuwah. So again, everything that I know, everything that I receive, everything that I have learned, my intention is to share it with you. So that's the way to work in a family, and we are all a family. So let's start. I'm gonna share with you my screen, and we will start with the presentation. So the day, when does it begin and end? So what we will review in this presentation is basically the importance to understand the scriptural definition of a day. As I said, this is the first step in order to understand Yahuwah's calendar, and also is an important step to understand prophecies. Again, just to understand why this is so critical to understand in order to know the calendar of Yahuwah. The third point that we will review in this presentation, and most probably we will cover it in this part of the video, is the different type of time measurement in the scriptures. There are several types of measurement of time, so we will take a look on those ones to understand a basic principle. The fourth point, and this is also very important, how to measure time according to the scriptures. Nowadays we use the calendars, we use clocks, we use cell phones, we use several ways to measure time. Even computers using an atomic clock that is synchronized every microsecond, sometimes microseconds, in order to have all the computers synchronized. So we need to understand how the scriptures tell us and teach us to measure time, okay? And this is also critical in order to understand the calendar of Yahuwah. The next point is that we will review in detail the words of Yahushua HaMashiach, when he said that the day has 12 hours. So we will take a look on that as well. And finally, we will review the most important thing that we need to know with all our heart and all our mind and all our being is when is the Shabbat day, when is Yom Shabbat. And this is very important also regarding the calendar of Yahuwah and also regarding prophecies. So let's move on. Okay, before moving on, I want to share with you my way to see things, and especially when we're starting to review some topics that for some people could be controversial or topics that can create some kind of debates or even confusion. It is very important to look into the scriptures and know what Yahuwah is telling us about how to learn, how to have more insight and how to take a look on different topics. So I want to share with you, and actually what I want to do is the scriptures to speak by themselves. So let me show you this. So before moving forward, as it said there, we need to remember the following. First, our heart is deceitful. This is written in Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah, and it says, the heart is crooked above all and desperately sick. Who should know it? And also in Yeshayahu we see, for my thoughts, says Yahuwah, are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declare Yahuwah. Therefore, let's forget our own opinion in order to study all of this, as is written in Romans. Do not be wise in your own estimation, in our own opinion. We must trust in Yahuwah always. As is written in Mishle in Proverbs, it says, trust in Yahuwah with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. We don't have understanding. All the understanding is coming from Yahuwah, and He gives us to everyone that is asking for it. Know Him in all your ways, and He makes all your paths straight. Again, do not be wise in your own eyes. Let's not consider our own opinion. Let's just the scripture to interpret themselves. Fear Yahuwah and turn away from evil. So, let's put aside the old teaching, as it is written by Shaul. Therefore, cleanse out the old leaven, so that you are a new lamp, as you are unleavened. As Yahushua said to the disciples, be aware of the leaven of the Pharisees, and he was talking about the teaching. So, again, let's take a look inside. Let's consider all of these verses in order to move forward with this study. So, let's become like little children. Yahushua said, unless you turn and become as little children, you shall by no means enter into the reign of the heavens. So we know little children doesn't have anything conceived. They're just coming to the world and they're starting to learn. So that's the way we need to start learning. That's the way we need to take a look on things. Always, trusting in Yahuwah and trusting in the word of Yahuwah to know the truth. And keeping always in mind that let Elohim be true and every man a liar. As I have been saying to you in several times, don't believe me. Don't believe any word that I'm saying. Just believe the word of Yahuwah. Take my input, take my words just as an input, and do your own research. Pray to Yahuwah. Search for the truth. Search for His guidance with the Ruach HaKodesh. That's the only way that you will have the truth. because we can trust in Elohim, not in man. And as Yahushua said, your Devar of Yahuwah is truth. The word of Yahuwah is truth. So, having all of this on mind, at the end we will know the following, as Yahushua said. If anyone desires to do his desire, Yahuwah's desire, he should know concerning the teaching, whether it is from Elohim or whether I speak for myself. So, if you're watching this video, please consider these words. They are coming directly from the scriptures, directly from the word of Yahuwah. Because, again, sometimes these topics are hard to understand. It creates several debates. Some people doesn't like that much. But again, we are not here to please men. We are here to please Yahuwah. So, having said that, let's move on. So the part number one is, why is this so important? Why is it so important to understand what is a day? What is so important to know Yahuwah's calendar? And again, as I've said, knowing what is a day according to the scripture is a key to understand the calendar of Yahuwah. So let's review some key points from the Devar of Yahuwah. So why is this so important? First, because Yahuwah commanded us to guard his Moedim in specific times, not our times, in specific times that he has defined. So, as it is written in Shemot, Exodus, he said, and you shall guard this law at its appointed time from year to year. So, if we don't know when this appointed time is, we won't know when to observe it. And it's quite clear in this scripture, in this verse, that we need to guard this law from year to year in its specific appointed time. Second point about the importance of this is because we have lost his true Moedim, and Yahuwah wants us to get it back on track. Why am I saying this? Why am I saying and so sure that we have lost his true Moedim? Let's take a look in some few verses that are very important. So the first one is in Jeremiah 8, 7 and 9. It says the following: even a stork in the Shamayim knows her appointed times, and a turtle dove and a swallow and a thrush guard the time of their coming. Listen to this. But my people do not know the Mishpatim, the right ruling of Yahuwah. So the birds on the Shamayim knows her appointed time, but we, the people of Yahuwah, do not know the right ruling of Yahuwah. And keep in mind, the Moedim are part of the Mishpatim of Yahuwah, are part of the right ruling of Yahuwah. So if he's saying that we don't know the people, his people doesn't know the right ruling of Yahuwah, he's also saying that his people doesn't know the Mishpatim and the Moedim of Yahuwah. So let's continue reading. How do you say, we are wise and the Torah of Yahuwah is with us? Haven't heard you this lately? Yeah, I have heard this many times. That's why it's important to keep in mind that don't be wise in our own opinion. We need to trust in Yahuwah. Let's continue, and it says, but look, the false pen of the scribe has worked falsehood. This is quite critical. The wise shall be put to shame. They shall be broken down and cut. See, they have rejected the word, the Devar of Yahuwah. So what wisdom do they have? In this moment, I remember what is written in Hosea. It is said, my people have died because of lack of knowledge. And we know that the wisdom and the knowledge, the honor of those ones is Yahuwah. and we need to ask Him for wisdom and knowledge. So it's quite clear what's the situation, and believe me, that situation we're still having it, and that's why it's my belief that Yahuwah is restoring us to His truth, to His true calendar. So, next one, and this is also very critical, is Yeshayahu, Isaiah 1:13-15. It says the following: Stop bringing futile offerings, incense, it is an abomination to me. Chodeshims, new moons, that's the version, but we know that it's Chodeshim, it's months. Shabbats, the calling of gatherings. I am unable to bear unrighteousness and assembly. Let's listen carefully what Yahuwah is telling us. Something is going wrong with the Chodeshims, the Shabbats, and the gatherings. It's something unrighteous and assembly. And listen to this. My being hates your Chodeshims and your Moedims. They are a trouble to me. I am weary to be in them. Why is he saying that? Why is he hating our Chodeshims, our Moedims? All of them are a trouble to me, a trouble to him. Let's keep in mind that the Moedim that is written in the Torah, it is written in Vayikra in Leviticus 23. These are my Moedims, are Yahuwah's Moedim. So he's telling us in this verse in Yeshayahu very clear, my being hates your Chodeshims, your Moedims. He's not talking about his Moedim. He's talking about the Moedims that we are guarding, that are totally different to his Moedims. It says the verse 15, and when you spread out your hands, I hide my eyes from you. Wow. Even though you make many prayers, I do not hear. Your hands have become filled with blood. I don't want that. I want Yahuwah to always listen to my prayers. I want Yahuwah always put his eye on me to help me in the way. So again, family, this is very critical, and from these verses it's quite clear to understand that something is not good, something is going wrong with the Moedims and the Chodeshims and the appointed times. So let's continue. So third point about the importance to know this, because his true Moedim are related to his day, the day of Yahuwah. So we must know them. So let's take a look what Shaul wrote in Thessalonikim Aleph, 1 Thessalonians 5:1-8. And it says, Now, brothers, as to the times and the seasons, you do not need to be written to. Why is that? Why Shaul doesn't need to write about the times and the season to the assembly? Because they already know them. So the question we need to ask every one of us, do we really know what are the times and the seasons? Do we really know what are the real appointed times, the real Moedim of Yahuwah? That's the answer, that's the truth that we are looking for. Second verse, it says the following, For you yourselves know very well that the day of Yahuwah, comes as a thief in the night. So the assembly knew that the day of Yahuwah is coming as a thief in the night. Let's continue. For when they say peace and safety, then suddenly destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. But you, brothers, are not in darkness, so that this day should overtake you as a thief. Again, we are not in darkness. We know we are in the day. We know all of this. We should know all of this, in order that when this is going to happen, the day of Yahuwah is going to happen, it's not going to take us by surprise. And it says in verse 5, For you are all sons of light and sons of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. So then, we should not sleep as others do, but we should watch and be sober. Critical words. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk are drunk at night. But we who are of the day should be sober. We are of the day, we are of the light. Put it on the breastplate of belief and love, and as a helmet the expectation of deliverance. These words are quite important, are quite critical. We are the sons of light. And for that reason, we must walk in his light, keeping all his mishpatim, keeping all his right ruling. And as I said before, his moedim are a key part of his mishpatim, his right ruling. His moedim is his prophetic calendar of what happened in the past and what's going to happen in the near future, very near future. So it's clear why it's so important to understand all of this. So let's continue. So part number 2 is time measurement as revealed in the scripture. So let's move on. If you read the whole scripture, you will see that there are different time measurements throughout the different books of the Tanakh and the Brit Hadashah. So some of the time measurements that we will see are the hours, watches, days, weeks, months, years, Shemitah, and Yovelim. So let's check some few examples, some verses for each one of them. So for the first one in Matthew chapter 20 verse 5, it says, having gone out again about the 6th and the 9th hour, he did likewise. So this is the parable of the hiding servants from Yahushua HaMashiach. So we see that here it is mentioned the 6th and the 9th hour as a measurement of time. So let's go to the following. In Shemoth, Exodus chapter 14 verse 24, it says, and it came to be in the morning watch that Yahuwah looked down upon the army of the Mitzrites, Egyptians, through the column of fire and cloud. So again, we have the second type of measurement of time, is the watch, the watches of the night, in this case the morning watch. If you take a look, we are not going to do it here in deep detail, but if you do a study of the watch, you will see that the night is divided in several watches. If I'm not wrong, it's in 4 watches. So the morning watch is before the dawn appeared, when the light started to grow, and it lasts until before the sun is rising. So next one is in Bereshit, Genesis 7:10. It says the following, and it came to be after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. You know, for days we have several examples that we can take a look. But here it's quite clear that days is being taken as a measurement of time, 7 days. Next one, weeks. In Devarim, Deuteronomy 16:10, it says, count 7 weeks for yourself. So again, it's a way to measure time, weeks, 7 weeks. Next one, months. It says in Shoftim, Judges, chapter 11, verse 37, it says, and she said to her father, let this be done for me. Let me alone for 2 months. The word here is Chodeshim. So, again, Chodeshim is taken as a measurement of time. 2 months, 2 Chodeshim. Next one is years. So let's take a look in Tehillim, Psalms 90:10. It says, the days of our lives are 70 years, or if due to strength, 80 years. Again, years taken as a measurement of time. 70 years, It's a generation or 80 years. So also we have plenty of examples and other verses in the scriptures about the years as a measurement of time. Next one is Devarim. Deuteronomy is 15 verse 1. It says, at the end of every 7 years you make a release of debts. The word release in Hebrew is Shemitah. So again, a Shemitah is a measurement of time. And what is it about? It's a period of 7 years. Okay? You know, some of this topic can sound very basic or not important, but believe me, we need to learn as children. So we need to learn the basic. We need to look into those tiny pieces that maybe we are gonna find great treasures. So it's important to take a look in all of these passages. So next one is the Yovel, the Yovelim. It is written in Vayikra, Leviticus 25:10. And you should set the 50th year apart and proclaim release throughout all the land to all its inhabitants. It is a Yovel for you. So a Yovel is also a measurement of time. And what is it about? It's the 50th year. So every 50th year we have a Yovelim. So if we take a look carefully in each one of the scriptures above, we will see something in common. What is this? A system of counting days, months, years. For example, here we see counting 50 years, here counting 7 years, here for the generation counting 70 years, in this case counting 2 months. If I go to the previous examples also, we will see counting days, counting weeks, and so on. So what the scripture is teaching us, that the way to measure time is counting. We need to count days, we need to count months, we need to count years. So that's why it's so important to understand what is a day, what is a month, what is a year, because we need to count according to the scriptures. What else? So we can also confirm from the scriptures the following. The hours as a measurement of time that was used only during captivity in Babylon and the Second Temple period. If you take a look in the source, in the original word for hour in the Greek and also in Hebrew, you will find examples only in the book of Daniel and the Brit Hadashah. So, you know, hour is dividing basically the day, and this was implemented by the Romans and by the Babylonians. If we see in the Tanakh and the Torah, we won't see any examples of measuring the time in hours. If I'm wrong, please send me the information, because also I'm learning like you. But I was looking in all the evidence, and I didn't find any evidence in the Torah people measuring the time in hours. Only in the Brit Hadashah and in the book of Daniel. And also we can see from the scriptures about the watches that the watches is the measurement of time used for the night. You know, it's important to know this as well, but most important to understand what is the basic measurement of time that the scripture is teaching us. Also, as we saw in previous videos, we already have learned from the scriptures and Hanoch the following, that a year has only 12 months, okay? And also we have learned that the month has 30 days fixed, no more nor less. Also we have learned, and this is from the testimony of Hanoch, that a year has 364 days, okay? Also, we saw in the previous passages that Shemitah years is every 7 years, and also we learned from the previous passages that a Yovel is every 49 and 50 years. Why 49? If you read carefully what is written in Vayikra, in Leviticus 25, it says that during Yom HaKippurim, the Yubel has to be announced. So it's basically during the year 49 is when Yubel is announced, and Yubel is the 50th year. So we have all the information about the months, about the days, about the years, but we are missing one measurement of time. What is that? The week. So what about the week? What is a week? Yeah, we can say based on our common sense and our common understanding today that, come on, Juan Carlos, a week is 7 days. We know that. We know that from the past, several world kingdoms has been trying to change the calendar to 8 days, and some of them to 10 days, change the week, sorry. But nowadays we know that the week is 7 days. Okay, but how we know this from the scripture? Again, we need to put our trust in Yahuwah, not in men. So let's take a look in the following, and this is very, very interesting. So the word week comes from the Hebrew word Shavuah. This is a strong number, H7620. You can take a look on that, and you can confirm what we are going to check here. This word Shavuah is written in Hebrew in this way. Shavuah. So this is a shin, a bet, a vav, and an ayin. Okay? The important thing here is that the root of this word are the shin and the bet. These two letters. Keep that in mind. Okay? From this root word, we can have other words like this one, like that one, and like that one as well. Okay? What is this word? But before going there, you see, we have the same root, shin and bet, shin and bet. The same here, shin and bet, and the same here, shin and bet. All of these words are coming from the same root. This is very important to understand. So this word is Shavuah. What is this word? It's Shavuot. And we know this is a Chag of Yahuwah. It's part of the Moedim. And what does it mean, Shavuot? It's basically the plural of Shavuah. Is weeks. Okay? What about this one? This word is Sheva. And what does it mean, Sheva? It means 7. Oh, this is quite important. Shavuah has a connection with 7. What about this word that maybe some of you already know this one? This word is Shabbat. Wow, quite interesting, because from the same word Shavuah, we have a connection with 7 and with Shabbat. So it's quite clear. A Shavuah, a week, is connected with Shabbat. And we have this from the creation week. In the account of the creation in Bereshit 1 and 2, we see that Yahuwah created everything in 6 days, and in the 7th day he rested. And that's the week. That's why the week is connected to Shabbat. Okay? So, again, we have the Yom Shabbat, and we know that Shabbat is also connected to 7, and that's why we have 7 Yomim, 7 days in a week. The week is also a counting of days, counting 7 days. And counting 7 days, we have a week. So, if we consider all of the previous comments, we see that the scripture is teaching us only 2 basic measurements of time. And these are the basic measurement of time that we should know in order to understand the calendar of Yahuwah and in order to understand prophecies. And what are those basic measurement of time? Days and years. Nothing more. We need to count days and we need to count years. That's the way to do it. And how we can confirm this? Let's take a look in Bereshit. Genesis 1:14. It says, and Elohim said, let lights come to be in the Rakia, the expanse of the Shamayim, the heavens, to separate the Yom, the day, from the Laila, from the night, and let them be for signs and appointed times, and pay attention here, and for days and years. He didn't say for hours, he didn't say for weeks, he didn't say for months, he said for days and years, because all of the rest is just a system of counting days and counting years, counting days to understand that in 7 days we have a Shavua, a week, counting 30 days, because in 30 days we have a Chodesh, a month, counting 364 days, because in that period of time we have a year, counting 7 years, because in 7 years we have a Shemitah, counting 49 or 50 years, because in that period we have a Yoelim, a Yovel. So that's the system that the scripture is telling us. The basic things is the day and the year, and the rest is just counting. Okay? So what is a day? But we will cover this in the second part of the video. Okay? So I hope that so far this is getting interesting. For me at least, it's quite interesting. I think the verses that we have checked so far are quite important, quite interesting, and quite critical to keep it here in our heart, in our mind, because we need to meditate on all of this, because that's the only way that we are going to get to the truth of his calendar, to the truth to his day, and the more important thing, to the truth of his real Moedim, and the restoration that he's given us in these days. So again, thank you for watching the video. Laila Tov, and I hope to upload the second part very soon. So, Shalom.